In Creo Parametric, you can use component flexibility so that individual parts change based on the context of the assembly. For example, in this assembly, I want the length of the spring to change based on the positions of the other components. In a previous video, I took this static assembly and converted it into a mechanism so that the shock bar can move. And then in another video, I applied limits to the motion so that the assembly stays intact. Now I want to make some changes so that the spring changes length when the shock bar moves. And so first off, someone had attempted to do that with relations. If I go to the Tools tab and then click on Relations, it opens up the Relations dialog box. These are different equations that are used to drive the assembly. And I had already commented out these relations because I didn't want to use them. I don't find this to be an elegant method, especially when we have component flexibility. Let me cancel out of here. And also, by the way, these files are available on my Google Share Drive if you want to do this for yourself. And so in order to make the spring change, I need to make changes to it. So let me click on it in the model tree. And then from the mini toolbar, I will click on the open icon. And so here is the spring. Let's take a look at the different features in here. And so this is a bit of an older part. So that's why the features are named a little differently. That's why we have this protrusion ID 7. And protrusion ID 7, that is how they used to name the features. This is a helical sweep. And so if I click on the protrusion, I get the mini toolbar. And here is the command for edit definition. Since this is an older feature, it opens up with something called a model dialog box, and I'm making it wider, as opposed to opening up with a dashboard. We've got our attributes, our sweep profile, our pitch, and the section. I just wanted to show that stuff to you. I'm going to cancel out of here while we are acquainting ourselves with the model. There's also a datum plane. Let me make this datum plane visible. And this datum plane is in the middle of the model. Let me turn on my plane display so that we can see it. And I'm also going to turn on, which plane do I want to see? I want to see a plane called top. So let's make that one visible as well. And so DTM4 is in the middle of the part. That's because there is a cut that gives us a flat surface on this side of the spring. And then there's a copy group. Basically, that cut is mirrored on the top of the model. And then there's an axis in here that's used for placing it in assemblies. We're going to make a bunch of changes here. This is going to be fun. And so first off, I happen to find that there's some pro program written into this part. Pro program is so that you can turn the regeneration into an interactive process. I don't want it having me asking questions. So let's go to the Model Intent Overflow menu from the Model tab. And then here is the Program command. When I click on that, that opens up the menu manager on the right. We're going to choose Edit Design because we want to change the program. And right up here at the top, we can see that there's an input section, and it defines a parameter called length, which is a real number. And here is the prompt. What is the spring? What the heck is that word? Someone doesn't know how to spell. I'm just going to delete this stuff. Let's go in here and let's select the lines with length and the prompt. Hit the delete key, and that is gone out of there. And I always forget if you can just exit or if you need to save first. So I'm going to hit File Save and then File Exit. Yes, I want to incorporate the changes into the model. So that ended up getting rid of the Pro Program prompt. So when I hit the Regenerate button, I'm not going to be prompted what values I want to use. Next up, let's take a look at our relations. I'll go to the Tools tab and then Relations. And so here they have a bunch of different relations in here. One thing I don't like is that they didn't rename any of the dimensions. Let me expand local parameters and then make the name column wider. And so there is a length parameter in here, and it's used to define the D3 dimension, which I'm guessing is the overall length of the spring. And then here's D4 equals length divided by 10. I'm guessing that is the pitch of the spring. And then we have this D11 dimension that's equal to D3 divided by 2. I did a little bit of checking. That's driving the location of the DTM4 datum plane. And then there's this other D13 dimension. And so the important thing right now is I'm going to start by getting rid of this line in here. I'm going to start out by commenting it out. I will delete it later on. For now, I will leave the rest of the relations in there. So let's click the OK button. And now, in order to make this easy for component flexibility, it's nice to have a dimension that's going to be flexible, a dimension for the overall length of this part. And what'll be easy to have that dimension and also to drive the helical sweep, I'm going to create a datum plane. I'm going to create a datum plane offset from the plane called top. So I will click on the plane called top. And then from the mini toolbar, here is the plane command. It is the keyboard shortcut P. So I will click on it. And let's drag it up here. Let's drag it up. Let's use a distance. Let's start out with a distance of 5. I'm making it slightly longer than the current length. And let's see, let's go to the Properties tab. And I'm going to call this my length plane. Hit the Enter key. And then click the OK button. And I'm going to drag that up right after my default datums. And while I'm here, let me change the name of this dimension. I'm going to click on the length plane, hit the dimension key. Here is the 5 dimension, and I'm just going to click on it once. And here I have the dimension tab. Right now that's using a name of D18. I want to make this user friendly, so I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to call it spring length. I happen to know that length is already used as a parameter, so I'll make it a bit of a longer name. If you want to see that name on the screen, we can go to the Tools tab and then switch dimensions. And now where we had the value of the dimension, we see the name of the dimension. But that is good. Let me click on the screen background in order to close the dimension tab. You can double click on the screen just so that you're no longer in Edit Dimensions. So now we have our length plane and we've got our protrusion. You can actually expand protrusions. We can see that it has a profile and then a sweep section. I'm going to click on it and then edit definition. And now I'm going to go to the sweep profile and click define. And we're going to modify and hit done. Yes, this is how the interface used to look. Let me change to looking at my sketch view. And so I don't want to have this dimension in here anymore. I want to have this driven by the plane. So let's throw in a coincident constraint. I'm going to click on coincident and pick the endpoint and then pick the plane. Hey, we've got a conflict. We're going to get rid of that sketch dimension. Let's click the delete for that dimension. And this is good. Let's click OK. Oops. I always made this mistake before back in Pro Engineer 2001 and earlier. So here we have the protrusion. You might think, okay, I'll click OK, get out of here. Hey, we have to hit the green check mark to get out of sketch mode. And let's see, anything else that we want to change? Nope, right now the pitch is over here. We're just going to leave that and we're going to click OK. And so now we have the spring. And it's not really being driven by the length yet. Let's start making some other different changes. So let's go to our relations. And here we're saying, oh, we've got an invalid dimension D3. And so D3, that's actually going to be our spring length. So let's see, let's change this. Yeah, we really don't need this. I'm going to show you in a second why we're not going to need this. Is that, okay, let me delete this and put a little space in just so that we're not going to have this error here. I really want this D11 dimension, which drives DTM4, to be driven by the dimension for the length plane. So I'll click on that. Let's click on spring length and divide by 2. And then let's verify the dimensions. Yes, it took care of the error. I'm just going to get rid of this. And let's add a comment line. And the comment's going to be control the helical sweep pitch. I know I'm doing a lot here, but I'm really making this model better. And so this D4 dimension, this is actually going to be equal to spring length divided by 10. So let me just type that in manually. Spring length, let's put some spaces in here, divided by 10. And this other stuff, I'm going to get rid of it in a moment because I'm going to show you a better way to do this. So I'm going to click OK, and let's go to Model and Regenerate. And hey, now when we have this plane here, this plane is driving the length of the part. Okay, the reason that we can get rid of DTM4 is that it's used for this mirror, and because we have this cut. Let me show you the cut. We've got this cut ID 76. I'm going to edit definition, and here we have it trimming away this part of the model. If I go to the placement tab, we have edit for the internal sketch. Let me change to the sketch view. And so there's just a line in here that's used to slice off this bottom part of the model. So let's hit the check mark to get out of the sketch. Let's hit the cancel button or the check mark to get out of the extrude. I'm going to show you how we can get rid of all this other stuff. And so we've got the copied extrude here, copied group, which is the cut up at the top of the model. To show you I don't need any of this stuff, I'm just going to suppress all this stuff. Let's select all this, and we're going to choose suppress just for a moment. Okay, what's the easy way to have those different cuts? Hey, in another video, I showed you how to do a cut with a datum plane. And so if I want to get rid of everything in this model below the datum plane called top, I will select top and then click on the solidify command. Right now it's removing everything above top. Let's flip the direction. Now it's removing what's below top. Let's hit the check mark, and so that is good. Now we're going to repeat the process with the other plane that I created. I'll select the length plane and then solidify. And yep, we're removing what's up at the top and hit the check mark. And so now we have just two simple solidify features for doing the cut stuff that was done with all of this. Hey, we don't need this stuff. Let's click on the delete command. Let's delete any relations that are related to it. If we want to check, we can go to Tools, Relations. And so now we just have this one dimension in here. Hey, we don't even need this length parameter. We can just get rid of it and click the OK button. All right, so that was a bunch of stuff for making it so that we could easily apply flexibility in the assembly. Let's show how to do that, applying flexibility in the assembly. Then I'll show you how you can add that later on to the part. Let me go back to the assembly. Here we have the spring, and I want to make this flexible in the assembly. I can right-click on it, and here we have flexible component. And here is the make flexible command. And so we have a number of different things that we can make flexible: parameters, surface finishes, materials, geometry tolerances, features, or dimensions. And so for dimensions, let me pick this plane for length plane. And the dimension that I want to be flexible in the assembly is this driving dimension 5. So I click on it. Then you have to click the OK button. And so now this is listed in here. You know what, let's make this dialog box a little bit wider so that we can see all the information. So here's spring length. Here is the original value 5. But I want it to be a distance in the assembly. So we can change the method from by value to measure a distance. And the distance is going to be, let me rotate the model. It's going to go from this surface and then to the top surface. Oops, sorry for zooming in and zooming out like this. I'm going to hold down the control key, and I'm going to pick this other surface as well. And so this distance is 5.719. So that is the measured distance. I will click the OK button. So the spring will update to that value. Let's click the OK button. And lo and behold, the spring did update. Let's see, what am I getting? Oh, placement. Oh, what happened was I got rid of that cut feature, and so now this surface is missing. Let's display the component in its own separate window. Let's pick a replacement for the flat surface. There we go. Now everything is green, nice and happy. Let's hit the check mark, and let's turn off our datum plane display. And we can go back to the model tab. And so let's see how we can change the length or the position of the shock bar and have the assembly update. I'll go to the drag command and then pick on here, and let's have it really sort of like compressed in there, and click the OK and then close. And this has Pro Program in it. If you have Advanced Assembly Extension, you can get rid of Pro Program. I'm just going to click Current Values, and hey, it updates automatically based on the compressed distance. Let's once again drag it and grab it here, and let's drag it about middle distance, and hit the Close button, Current Values, and the spring updates. And let's try for maximum extension. Drag, grab, drag it out to the maximum distance, and click the Close, Current Values, and the spring updates. So there we see how we have the spring updating automatically with the mechanism. So as I mentioned, you can also define flexibility in the part itself. So you're asked for flexibility whenever you place this component. Let's go to File and then Prepare, Model Properties. And in here we have flexible, and flexibility is not defined. We can click on the blue change hyperlink. And then for dimensions, I'm just going to pick that plane I made right out of the model tree. And then I'll pick this dimension and click the OK button. And so now this is a flexible dimension so that a person can change its values when they place it into an assembly. So let's click the OK button and then close our model properties dialog box. So there you have it. That's how you can use component flexibility in this the shock assembly, so that our spring changes length automatically with our mechanism from our assembly, which used to be a static assembly. Hope you got something out of this series of videos.